Hi everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. The song Do They Know It's Christmas by Band Aid looks set to be prohibited because of its lyrics, where nothing ever grows, no rain or rivers flow. And it's looking increasingly like that song is going to be removed from playlists unless Bob Geldof agrees to change the words. More and more artists are trying to distance themselves from the song. It's been re-recorded many times since 1984. And in 2014, Ed Sheeran's voice was used, and he's going to be appearing on this year's Do They Know It's Christmas edition again. And he's saying, well, if they'd asked me whether they could use my voice this year, I would have said no. He's been talking to his African collaborator, Fuse ODG, a singer from Ghana, and they both think that this song is no longer fit for purpose. It was written to try to help Ethiopians in 1984. They had a famine because of an African there was some kind of conflict going on and famine at the same time. But they wrote the song about Africa, not about Ethiopia. I must point out here, when I say they, I'm talking about the person who wrote the song. That was Bob Geldof. Okay, so Ed Sheeran's been involved with it since 2014, and he's saying, wow, I wish they would just leave me out of it now, because the song clearly doesn't give a good portrayal of Africa. And he's probably right. I mean, the problem is we never hear anything about Africa on the media. This is something I've been saying for a long time, and I force myself now to watch at least one African news channel every week. I have to admit that it's Nigerian and it's maybe not the best content, but it does give me a glimpse into what life in Africa is really like. It's very interesting. So it looks like this song is about to disappear. Now, it's not only this year that this song has been controversial. It's actually been controversial for quite some time now. And Bob Geldof was on Sky News 10 years ago, refusing to take any responsibility for the song, and also refusing to rewrite the lyrics. So who knows what's going to happen. So this is a news story from The Standard. I'm just going to read part of this. This was from yesterday. Musicians are distancing themselves from the colonial Christmas single, Do They Know It's Christmas by Band Aid. Band Aid is back for Christmas 2024. Not everybody's happy about it, and Ed Sheeran has denounced it for using his vocals, saying that if he had been asked if his vocals could be reused, because he agreed to it in 2014, he would have said no. He says, a decade later, my understanding of the narrative has changed. And he says his collaborator, his African collaborator, Fuse ODG, a Ghanaian singer, has advised him that Band Aid's words give damaging stereotypes that stop Africa's economic growth, tourism, and investments. Fuse ODG was asked to be in Band Aid in 2014, and he refused. debate around this Christmas song is growing. There's all kinds of songs with it, with colonial ideas from a white savior mentality. This idea that countries like Africa need some kind of white savior. By the way, I say countries like Africa. Of course, it's a continent, not a country. The song was actually written about Ethiopia, which was having issues. But unfortunately, it was giving the impression that it applied to all of Africa. So this is not going to go away. I think the song is probably going to be going away soon. The BBC are making a documentary about it. The song was always very controversial anyway. I mean, the government, when it was first released back in 1984, refused to give it a special tax status so that more money could go to Ethiopia. It says here, in 2014, a writer, Bim Adewunmi, I'm assuming it's an African, called the Band-Aid output patronizing and uncomfortable. And last year, a writer, Indrajit Samarajiva, also condemned the song, saying it's not just that these lyrics haven't aged well, they were never good at all. They take an ignorant and colonial attitude. Someone else here says, saying no to Bob Geldof is one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. This is going back to Fuse ODG, who refused to participate, saying that, what is it this person's saying here? Seeing what looked like the dead body of an African woman being carried out of her home on primetime TV crystallized my concerns about the strategy that this song uses. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I guess the video of that song was really bad, wasn't it? And he says that he's really shocked and appalled by the new offensive lyrics. This is a badly written story. In one part, Fuse is referred to as a man, and another part as a woman. I don't know who Fuse ODG is, but this story from the Standard is getting a bit confused about their gender. Bob Geldof has previously appeared on TV being very upset about criticism of the song, and he doesn't seem to want to take any responsibility for changing any of the lyrics. So there we are, a song which is likely to be vanishing as time goes on. Vanishing just means disappearing. So that's a news story which is in the Standard yesterday. That's the Evening Standard. And also that was a major story on LBC Radio this morning, one of London's talk radio stations. So there we are. Will this song disappear before Christmas? Well, I don't like Christmas songs, but I have to say, some of them are quite nice, especially if they're raising money for charity. But yeah, it's probably just gone out of date, hasn't it? Because at the time, nobody thought anything about it. But it's saying here that ever since the song was published, many Africans were a little bit concerned. There we are. Right, well, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see what happens to that song, if it survives or not. But either way, I think you can expect that you might not be hearing it as much as you used to. So see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.